We have got Kidderminster away in the FA Cup tomorrow. I know about the transfer window. I know I haven't said anything about it. It was incredibly frustrating, just in the terms of a brief summary. I could be here for the next 10 minutes talking about the whys and the wherefores of it. But in a way, because of how frustrated I felt, it's quite nice to get back to the football. And I'm hoping that with 2 weeks off, Mikel Antonio aside, that West Ham coming fresh, not just to the FA Cup, but to the Premier League and obviously the Europa League further down the line. Now, Kidderminster away. I can't tell you too much about their team. I know they've done well to get where they're at. They've beaten some teams, particularly you look at Reading as well. I think that's a scout for them. So they are giant killers as such. They call themselves massive. We call ourselves massive. And for us, I think it's a case of how serious we take the competition generally, and I think that will be reflected in the team selection. For me, I generally feel that West Ham have got a strong enough second team, even with our squad depth issues, to compete and win comfortably. That should be on paper what happens. I wonder whether Moyes looks at it and says, I want to put a marker in the ground regarding team selection and regarding this competition. And I wouldn't say I don't think he's going to play Mikel Antonio. I've heard that he's not going to play him because of the international football. But I think some first teamers will be in there interspersed with second choices and rotation options. The goalkeeping one's interesting. I think that will reflect what Moyes then does at Watford, whether he plays Fabianski and he returns or Areola comes in. I would like to see Areola in the league get more of an opportunity, if I'm honest. Whilst we lost to Manchester United, there were instances, and there have been instances where I've seen Areola play in terms of his distribution, how decisive he is, how calm he is. I do feel a lot more comfortable at times with him in goal. But having said that, there are times where Fabianski hasn't necessarily made that mistake, and it feels a little bit scapegoat type behaviour. But I've said before on that issue, I do think Areola is the keeper. So it'll be interesting to see who Moyes plucks for. In terms of the back four, I think we could see Fredericks at right back, and I think we could see Ben Johnson at left back. And that sounds quite strong as fullback choices go. That people are looking at Ashby, wouldn't be against it at all. Would be really good to see him actually. I think he was going out or was looking at a loan possibly to Hull. It would have been great to see him get minutes. I think there's potential there, of course there is, but that is a strong fullback option. And then the centre backs, I think Diop and one other. I think Dawson and Zuma shouldn't play in this game. I think we're strong enough and good enough to deal without them. I think Elise comes in. I think he does. I liked him in the Europa League from what little I saw of him. Decisive, strong in the air. Again, decision making is crucial in this game. I think Kidderminster, in terms of utilisation of deliveries and set pieces and being strong from open play in that sense, we do need that. And it may suit at least to be the more aggressive centre back and Diop to be the more reserved, because where I feel Diop gets caught is in his decision making. And maybe if you take that out of the game and he's very much, he understands his role and his chemistry with the other centre back, then maybe we can mitigate that a little bit better. I think we go 4-2-3-1 just for reference. And I think double pivot is Crowell and Noble. I think that picks itself. We haven't really seen enough of Crowell to make a good enough judgment on him. I've seen in games where I feel that he lacks a little bit of mobility, but there are other times where I see him where he's reading of the game. I think his passing range, I think he's got real qualities to offer. I think in this game, if you're looking at that double pivot, I expect Noble to be the number 6 and Crowell to go and break up play and win the ball and progress, which I feel that he can do. And I feel that he can use his aggression, he can use his physicality in a positive way. So that will be interesting for me to see. And the big debate will be over the front four. Who comes in if Antonio's out? Now, I think maybe Moyes may be inclined to play this selection. But like I say in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on it. I think Okaflex may play on the right-hand side. I think we're in a position now where, and listen, as a fan, I'm very much on the side of these are young players, for all their potential and for all they can offer. And I don't think chucking them in at the deep end is always the most logical solution. And I think they do need game time in a more senior setting. Having said that, I do think Okaflex has shown real quality at the under-23s. And he has been in and around that first team, as has Perkins. I just feel that on that right-hand side, if Yarmolenko does become that false 9 that we're going to play, it gives him an opportunity to come in. And I think he's, again, like I say, I'm probably dumbing down the levels between these teams. Flex is more than good enough to play against Kidderminster. I feel that with the team that we could possibly be picking, the seniority of some of these players, that's the good balance. With Noble in the team, again, another caveat to that and something else that can support him in making that start and making an impact. Now where I feel it gets slightly stronger, I think Fornals and Vlasic may play. And I think Vlasic may play on the left and Fornals in the 10. And I'm not opposed to it, really. I'm really not. I think there are two players that I don't think they'll start against Watford. And that's not just because of the team that I think will play. I think Lanzini in the 10, Benny on the left, and Bowen on the right is what we'll see with Antonio up front. So I think they're going to have game time. And that would reflect what David Moyes believes is a strong team. And I'd be happy to see it. I really would. I think, I think Vlasic has improved. I think he's shown that his adaptation to the Premier League. I think there are clear qualities there in ball retention, dealing with pressure, acceleration, carrying the ball, committing players. That would be great for me to see in this game where, without trying to simplify it, you're looking at Kidderminster and they may feel in certain moments, particularly defenders, might feel they need to go and press the ball and win the ball and be aggressive because of the situation, because of the atmosphere. And I think that'll benefit Vlasic because of his qualities, because of his strength. And I think Fornals as well, in terms of pressing in that number 10, he's got qualities off the ball, on the ball as well. I really like him in central areas. I think the way that he can link play, the way that he's intelligent enough to find himself on either wing that support Okaflex, to support Vlasic, will allow us to build in wider areas. And I also think his ability to play vertically and play through the lines and find the right pass with the right weight of pass is important, because I do feel in this game, Yarmolenko will not become a physical 1v1 battle. If West Ham are going to come into this game and use Yarmolenko as a hold-up player, it won't work. But if Yarmolenko is given, I was going to say the freedom, but essentially given the license to play on the shoulder and to try and move in behind and be intelligent. We know he lacks the athleticism, but he's a good enough player to make the correct runs and pull him out of position. And you feel that you've got the dynamism on the right-hand side with someone like Okaflex. You've got Fornals' ability to play in central areas and link play, and Vlasic's ability to commit bodies. That should create enough space for Yarmolenko. So I think that is the team that I would pick. I think there's enough seniority. Like I've said, I think there's a balance in there in terms of the chemistry. And I think as well, getting minutes and youngsters to come in and have game time is really important. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And like I've said before, it's a chance to rest players ahead of a busy fixture list, because this squad is thin. We've said this on numerous occasions, and Moyes has said on numerous times that, or shown that this team will play 3 games in a week. So to go and play 2 games, Watford at home and Leicester away, listen, we're in that ballpark now where I still think we can get a win from both. I do genuinely believe we can. And we want to be putting ourselves in the correct position in order to do so. And if we're perfectly honest, West Ham, if we're going to rotate to that extent, we'll have Bowen on the bench, Declan Rice, Thomas Souček, Manu Lanzini, Ben Rom. That's a strong bench in the FA Cup. So maybe you go stronger than that. I'm not sure. That's the team that I would plot for. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the transfer window. I'll be interested to hear what you've got to say about it. Appreciate I haven't given an in-depth insight into my feelings on it, but it was tough. Like, it was very, very tough to kind of get my head around it and kind of just interpret it. I don't feel like I've caught there's certain things that I haven't interpreted or got override resolution to, but we move on. Listen, and listen, I'm fully behind the team, and I'm sure the players will perform to the level and the ethic that they can. And again, I think Moyes will do his best to go as far in the competitions. It's just whether this team can stay fit enough, can stay sharp enough to deal with that. So take care. If you do enjoy this video, drop a like on it. It helps in ways that I don't really understand. Check out the Patreon account. Obviously, of course, the transfer window is over, but there's loads of interesting podcasts over there with special guests as well. So keep your eye out for that. Check the West Ham Way website for news articles as well. Probably talking about the transfer window. So if you haven't got your fix from the podcast, from the channel, then check that one out. And listen, enjoy the rest of your day. BBC, I think it is 12 o'clock or half 12. And if you're lucky enough to go, have a great day out, because I tell you what, I would love to have gone there. Take care.